When your cat suddenly climbs onto your shoulder, out of nowhere, mid-sentence, mid-dinner, mid-anything, do you actually know what they are trying to tell you? Yes, it is startling. Yes, it usually happens at the worst possible moment, when your hands are full, or your eyes are closed, or you are standing at the top of the stairs, completely unprepared for 40 pounds of confidence landing on you out of absolutely nowhere. But here is what most cat owners never find out. There is one specific kind of climb, something researchers studying feline behavior call one of the most honest things a cat can do, and we are saving it for the very end of this video. Because once you understand it, you will never see your cat climbing on you the same way again. You have felt it. The sudden weight on your lap while you are mid-scroll, the pause on your shoulder while you are cooking dinner, the cat appearing on your chest at 3 a.m., like it teleported there in your sleep, or scrambling up your leg the second a stranger walks through the door. But here is the part that changes everything. It is not about warmth. It is not about attention. And it is definitely not random. Every single climb has a different reason hiding inside it. And most of them have nothing to do with what you think. Some of them are sweet. One of them is something else entirely. Something most owners never connect to anything until tonight, and you are about to be one of the few who does. Let us start with the version almost every cat owner has experienced. Point 1. The lap ambush. Why does your cat suddenly climb into your lap the second you sit down, even after ignoring you all day, even mid-argument, even mid-phone call? Most people think it is simple. Your lap is warm, so they climb. But warmth was never the deciding factor. Out of every warm surface in this room, the heating vent, the sunny windowsill, the laptop running hot on the table, your cat walked past every single one and chose the one surface that breathes, the one that rises and falls, the one that has a pulse underneath it. Researchers at the University of Lincoln studying feline resting behavior found that cats choose a resting spot based on the perceived safety of the nearby human, not the temperature of the surface itself. The warmth was never the test. You were. Think about what that actually means. That is not warmth-seeking. That is trust made physical. Point 2. The shoulder perch. Now think about the shoulder climb, the one where your cat scales you like a piece of furniture, claws and all, and parks itself behind your neck like it has done this 100 times before, balancing there as if the height itself were the reward, swaying with you when you stand up. Most owners assume it is attention-seeking, or just a better view of the room. But cats were never built to live on the ground. Their ancestors lived above it, watching everything from height while the danger stayed below, out of reach, out of options. Your shoulder is the closest thing to a branch they have left in a house with no trees. Behavioral ecologists tracing the evolutionary history of the domestic cat have linked this instinct directly to wildcat ancestors who depended on height, not speed, to escape ground predators. And this happens in your living room. Every single day, not the couch, not the cat tree in the corner, you. And there is one specific climb we still have not talked about, the one that happens when they are actually afraid. We are getting there. Point 3. The 3 a.m. climb. Then there is the climb that happens while you are asleep. You wake up, and they are already there, draped across your chest like they grew there overnight, rising and falling with your breathing. Perfectly still, perfectly heavy, anchored in place until your alarm goes off. Most people think it is random, or just a soft spot to land. But sleep is the most defenseless your cat will ever be. They do not collapse anywhere by accident. They choose the one heartbeat in the entire house they trust enough to fall asleep next to. A study on co-sleeping behavior in domestic cats found that cats sleeping directly on their owners showed measurably lower resting heart rates than cats sleeping elsewhere in the same room. What cat owners have felt for years, science is only now catching up. That is not a habit. That is trust, unguarded. If your cat climbs you at almost the exact same hour every single night, tell us the time in the comments below. You will be surprised how many other owners say the exact same hour. Point 4. The doorway climb. Now picture a stranger walking through your door, a guest, a delivery person. Someone your cat has never smelled before in their life, carrying an unfamiliar scent into a room your cat considers entirely their own. Most people assume the cat is hiding, using you as a wall between them and the unfamiliar smell. But hiding and climbing are not the same response. One is avoidance. The other is a choice. They did not run to the closet they have used 100 times, the one that has always worked before. They climbed straight onto you, in plain sight, with the stranger still standing there, watching the whole thing happen. Researchers at Oregon State University, studying attachment bonds between cats and their owners, found that most cats display the same secure attachment response that human infants show toward their mothers. Sound familiar? Not hiding behind you. Standing on you. Remember what I said earlier about the one climb most owners completely misread. We are almost there. Point 5. The storm climb now, the one that actually scares people. Thunder cracks, or the vacuum turns on, and suddenly your cat is clawing their way straight up your leg, your chest, your shoulder, pupils blown wide, ears flat, tail clamped low, like the floor itself has caught fire. That is not aggression. That is real, physical fear, the kind that overrides everything else they know about you. Research published in the Journal of Feline Medicine and Surgery found that access to vertical space measurably lowers stress hormone levels in domestic cats. In a moment of panic, the highest point in the room is whatever you happen to be standing closest to. But here is something most owners get completely wrong in that exact moment. Pushing them off, laughing at the claws digging in, holding them tightly against your chest to calm them down. Their nervous system is in full survival mode, and restraint does not feel like comfort to them. It feels like a trap closing around them. Stay still instead. Let them climb as high as they need. Let them choose where they land and when they are ready to come down on their own. That is not panic anymore. That is relief. Point 6. The tree they do not have. Remember at the very beginning, when I said there is one climb most owners completely misread. This is it. So why, in an empty, quiet house, during a thunderstorm, with every door and hallway open to them, does your cat climb you, instead of hiding somewhere smaller and darker? Somewhere that has worked for them before. Somewhere they have used a dozen times. Some cats run under the bed. Some squeeze behind the washing machine. Some disappear into the back of a closet for hours, completely silent, completely alone. Yours climbed you. The wild ancestors of the domestic cat survived ground predators using one strategy above every other: height. A tree meant survival, open ground meant exposure, and exposure meant death. That instinct never left. It is still running, quietly, underneath every single climb your cat has ever made onto you, in every room of this house, in every storm that has ever passed over it. And in your living room, during the storm, there is no tree. Not under the bed, not behind the couch, not the closet they have used 100 times before. You are not furniture. You are the tree. You're not furniture. You're the tree they climb when it's not safe. Every time your cat climbs onto you, out of nowhere, for no reason you can immediately see, some ancient part of them just made a decision that you, specifically, out of everything in the room, were the safest place left in the world to be. Not a branch, not a shelf, not the highest cabinet in the house. You. So the next time it happens, out of nowhere, at the worst possible moment, ask yourself one thing before you move them, before you laugh it off, before you go back to whatever you were doing. What do you think they just chose you over? And if you have never thought about it that way before, you are not alone, and you will probably not stop thinking about it tonight.